currently the end of October, and we're coming up on the end of the growing season here in Zone 7A. You know what that means. All of our beautiful annuals that we have lovingly cared for all season are going to start dying off as soon as temps start dropping lower and lower. Next season, we'll have to start all over from scratch when it comes to our favorite annuals. Or do we? I have several plants that are considered annuals here in Oklahoma because they can't withstand our cold winters. But what if I told you these plants actually make beautiful house plants during the colder months? You can bring them indoors and grow them in a south facing window or under grow lights. This is a great way to save money in the spring because you won't need to buy quite as many plants as you normally would. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I go the second mile with my plants by taking clippings of my favorites and bringing them indoors to root and water. This keeps me from having to buy quite as many next year. And side note, if you do it right, you can even create some great Christmas gifts with your cuttings. Okay, so the first one I want to show you is Coleus. I love me some Coleus, don't you guys? I've got a couple of different varieties that I grew this year. So here's the first one. And what I did about a week before I recorded this, I went out to my outside plants, took a bunch of clippings. You just want to leave a few little leaf nodes. And I took those clippings, brought them inside, stuck them in jars of tap water. And here it is a week later, and you can see that several of them do have roots. Now, of course, there are some that don't have roots at this moment, so I put them back in the water because they just need a little bit longer. And then next, we're doing some clippings of creeping Jenny. Now, this is a perennial in my zone, and it will come back next year. It does every year. But I love putting it in hanging baskets indoors for the wintertime because it just looks so pretty as it cascades down the hanging basket. So as you can see, I've got some pots and I had already filled those up with potting soil. And then I soaked them really good with water so that the soil was nice and damp throughout, but not sopping wet, just wet enough. And then, of course, you do want to water those in once you've got them planted in the soil so that you can reduce any air pockets or anything like that. And then next, we're going to plant up these purple sweet potato vines. I've got purple and green, so we're going to do both, but check out the roots on those purple ones. Doesn't that look great? Okay, I don't know what happened with my footage. It seems to have locked up on me, and I recorded this a couple of weeks ago, so it's not like I can just go back and re-record this. So I apologize for that, but you can see the green sweet potato vine right there. Right here in that vial in my hand, those are leaves that I had clipped off of the purple sweet potato vine, and those were the lower leaves that I cut off so that we could grow roots out of those leaf nodes. That's how it usually roots. Well, sometimes when you take those leaves that you clipped off and put them in water, sometimes they will root, sometimes they don't. But this time, as you can see, they did. So we're going to plant those up as well. And then here is some of the things that I had been working on this particular day. And then on that day, I did share this clip here as a YouTube short just to share my frustration, because watch what happens when you're trying to juggle a video camera and your potted plants. It was a disaster, and I was so heartbroken. I had to redo all three of those pots and then clean up that mess, and made me very sad. But they are potted back up. They have been for a couple of weeks now, so I'm going to show you some footage here in just a moment of what they look like today. And we'll talk about how long it's been. And did you see that creeping Jenny up there in the basket? And there's some more creeping Jenny down there. Everything's looking great.